and welcome to Finance Conversations. This is the 22nd episode of the Merging Life and Money Show, and I am super excited to be here with you today. For those of you who do not know me, I am your host, Marie-Jo César. I help professional women acquire and apply the relevant financial skills and knowledge they need to take control of their money, manage their finances, and understand that they can live their best life with the money they have. Thank you for joining in today. If you are watching the replay, make sure to type #replay in the chat and leave me some comments and questions. Welcome, and welcome. I come to you live every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to share valuable information about how to achieve financial wellness and live your life with means and meaning. Today's show is actually the 8th episode of a new series titled The Scoop on Women and Money. I will be talking about the common traits between the best of the best athletes in the world and financially successful women. So grab a pen and a notebook, as you might want to take some notes to discuss them further with family members, friends, colleagues, whomever you want to, because it is all about sharing values that could benefit others. So if you have any comments or questions, make sure to put them in the chat, and I would be happy to answer them. And if you want to talk to me directly, I will share my contact information a little later in the show. So, as you know, for my regular visitors, listeners, I should say, the main objective of the Merging Life and Money Show and my super strong why, WHY, is to empower as many women as possible with what I know about money and finance. Okay, so let us begin. The 32nd Olympic Games started on Friday last week, 23rd of July, yeah. And I found it quite fitting to refer to the Games simply because as women, I should say as individuals, we can learn and be inspired by those great athletes when it comes to winning at money. Your financial journey is unique, okay? Your goals are as well. So when you recognize the type of relationship you have with money, a positive mindset will lead you to positive changes in more than just your financial life. So to give today's show some context, being a former athlete myself, believe it or not, I used to be a discus thrower in my younger days, I can certainly attest to the benefits I got and continue to draw from the positive aspects of sports that help shape my financial journey. So when you think of the best athlete in the world across different sports, it is easy to imagine them having very different recipes for success. In my opinion, there are some surprisingly consistent similarities and behaviors between athlete super achievers and anyone intentionally attempting to achieve financial freedom. It is a lot more than just sheer talents. I can tell you that. Lots of work. So today I will focus on 3 points: mindset and optimism, confidence and self-belief, goal setting and focus. And I will be remiss if I did not talk about how, if not played successfully, the game of money can impact your mental health and self-esteem. Okay, the first point, mindset and optimism. High achieving athletes are identified as being optimistic about their own personal growth and untapped potential. This comes with an awareness of areas in which they must need to improve. They feel an inherent need to work on their deficiencies, and rather than seeing them as weakness, they are taken as golden opportunity for self-betterment. Alongside this comes the vision to imagine success against the odds, fueled by a positive instinct of achievability and reward. So the same applies to anyone who is aware of their financial conundrum and truly wants to rectify their financial situation. Okay, so they recognize that they have made some sabotaging decision and they yearn to rectify them. They will then take that opportunity to forgive themselves, do some honest introspection, and recognize their limiting beliefs. So how would they do that? By thinking positively and defining their purpose in life. At the end of the day, it is all about knowing your why, your WHY. Think positive, okay? Because a positively thinking person is not a dreamer. Instead, a positively thinking person recognizes that problems are opportunities to grow. Okay, they would rid themselves of the limiting beliefs that are stopping them, and they will stop talking and start acting. As you know, life does not always give you what you want, but it surely gives you what you expect. So do you expect success, or do you spend most of your time worrying about failure? Pelé, who is a Brazilian, I would say the Brazilian soccer god, summed it up quite eloquently by saying, the more difficult the victory, the greater the happiness in winning. So without the right mindset around your financial well-being, no amount of planning or execution can improve your current financial situation. So having a pessimistic mindset around money management and financial planning can lead to a poor financial life. So having a more optimistic mindset does not necessarily mean good thing will happen overnight. Okay, it just means that you will be more likely to take the necessary action to achieve what you want and lead to productive behaviors in a positive relationship with money. An important part of a healthy financial mindset involves being honest with who you really are. You are all impulsive, emotional, and messy at times. So developing an overly restrictive budget that would allow for that, well, I would say that would not allow for the occasional impulse will derail your effort toward financial improvement. So remember that while you cannot control certain things, like when the market takes a downturn, you surely can control your mindset and the strategies you trust to make the best decisions for your future. It is especially important to stay the course and maintain your focus on the positive outcomes of your goals in the beginning of your financial journey. Figure out what steps you need to take to keep yourself motivated for the next 1, 5, 10, or even 20 years. Okay? Your target will always be moving, but if you keep yourself motivated and keep your ultimate goal in mind, you can stay on the right path toward the target. As you know, financial freedom is achieved through your own mindset and your commitment to accountability with your progress and your goals. Do not forget that. Now let's look at the point number 2, confidence and self-belief. So what are beliefs concerning personal finance? Do not let your fears frustrate you, limit you, or paralyze you. Your thoughts depend on your beliefs about life. If you don't like what you are receiving, then have a look at what you are sending. So everything that is in your life has been created by your thoughts, your expectation, and your beliefs. So take a look at them. If you change your beliefs, believe me, trust me, you will get new results. I can tell you that the greater an athlete confidence, the more willing they are to keep trying, even when failing. Okay? So it's always hope there. I mean, when I used to throw the discus, I had 6 tries. Okay? And sometimes, I would jump out of the circle 3 times out of 3, and I only have 3 left. But guess what? I kept on going because I had to get a good shot at it. So as I mentioned in previous show, financial confidence matters. Your relationship with money will impact how you behave with your money. That means that the more confident you feel about managing your money, the better you will be at it. At the end of the day, the word confidence boils down to self-assurance and trusting your ability. Okay? And financial confidence looks the same way. Trusting that your finances are going to support you going forward. So here are a few things that my experience with money has shown me along the way. I know for sure that emotion play a much bigger role in money than you might think. Okay? Your family history impacts how you behave with money. That's for sure. The way you think about money determines how you will act with your money. Most of the time, you are the one holding yourself back. Think about it. If you don't think you can do it, you won't even try to do it. Okay? Change that. If you think you will always be better with money, you will keep making, guess what? The same bad decisions. So many of you do not ask for what you want because you do not believe that you deserve it. Change that movie, okay? Many of you get stuck in the cycle of debt because you do not think that you deserve better. And you feel isolated from others because you think that you are alone in your financial struggle. Totally wrong. There are plenty people struggling right now. So how do you build your money confidence? Let me start by saying that you do not need expertise in personal finance or investment to be confident about your own money. Okay? Just because you don't currently feel confident about your money management skills does not mean that you cannot change, right? Okay, I am a firm believer that in changing your mindset, you will make long-lasting changes in your life. Okay, it is a process that does not happen overnight, but it has to be intentional. It has to be consistent. You will have to reframe your financial behavior to be more deliberate and trust yourself to make the right financial choices for you and for your family. Okay? You can build trust in your financial choices by getting clear on what you believe about money, by figuring out how your beliefs influence your action, and by recognizing when a choice is not in your best interest, even if it feels right in the moment. Okay, so choose to act in alignment with a healthier money mindset so your money fears do not stop you from being your own best money advocate. So let me also say that confidence is not something you have to have before you start achieving your financial goals. Okay? Confidence is built over time through gaining knowledge and experience, right? And I still making a parallel with athletes that I got to know or to know about. And as an NFL star, Ronnie Lott, a lot of you probably wouldn't know it. Ronnie must be about in his 60s by now. He played for the New York Jets and the Raiders and the 49ers through his career. So he said, if you can believe it, the mind can achieve it. Okay, so over to my third point. Let's look at goal settings and focus. Super elite athletes always have attainment goals beyond what they can currently achieve. Without a tangible vision of what success means, it is much more difficult to know what needs to be done to get there. And it is not different when you are setting your financial goals. And as a great MJ, Michael Jordan, put it, you have to expect things of yourselves before you can do them. Okay? So you must set financial goals so that you may achieve the great big vision you have for your life. Okay? You will achieve your dreams and desire only if you have the financial capacity to realize them, and having that capacity means designing a blueprint for how you will get there. Therefore, it is important that you set the relevant goals, right? Not your neighbor's goals, okay? Not your friend's goals, your goals. So furthermore, being aware of your relationship with money will allow you to be responsive instead of being reactive. And will also let you make decisions that align with your goals. And the right goals will help you track the progress you are making with achieving your big vision. So how do you set financial goals? I identify at least probably 11 ways, but anyway, let's start. Decide on what kind of life you want now and what kind of life you want for later. So your goals must be measurable, since you can only track what you can measure. Okay? You must clearly state what you want to achieve and what you need to do each day, each week, each month, each quarter, whatever, to reach your end goal. Okay? Set achievable goals. They must be challenging enough, but not to the point where they cannot be attainable. Write them down, as it helps, I found anyway, that when I write down my goals, it helps me achieve them and it helps me remember them. Okay? Commit to learning about finance and build up some courage to continue to take action no matter what. Remember that doing the hard work of learning about finance will lead you to confidence. You will know, you make informed financial decision. Understand that financial goals do not have to be set in stone, right? In fact, you will have to revise them, you will have to refine them throughout your life, because that's a journey. Okay, that's work in progress. So categorize each financial goal, the short one, the mid or the long-term ones. Okay, this will vary based on where you are in life right now. And typically, short-term financial goals are 6 months to 5 years, mid-term, more like 5 to 10 years, and long-term are more than 10 years. All right, so set a target date for each financial goal, and note that being specific helps even if you adjust the date over time. Right? Prioritize each financial goals. Label them as this one is critical. Label this one as a need. Label this one as a want. Okay? It helps to prioritize. So if push comes to shove, you know what to fund first. Okay? So focus on your schedule of action, not the goal deadline. Sometimes focusing on a deadline can make it seem like what you want to accomplish is so far away that you have plenty of time to get things done later, and then suddenly it's so close that it's too late to do anything. So focus on the actions, not the performance. The action that you take carry more weight, right, than the actual performance. Why? Because the performance might not always be perfect, but the actions you take consistently, like budgeting, saving money on a schedule, making regular and consistent payment towards your credit card debt, will help you get better each time and improve your overall performance. So these two things can make all the difference when it comes to making those goals you have set super easy to accomplish. All right. As I mentioned earlier, I will touch on an important point that too often we choose to ignore. Fortunately enough, it is yet again gaining momentum as we speak as a result of Simone Biles withdrawing from the Olympics and citing how fear affects the mental health and physical safety of gymnasts. Well, money stress affects women more than we care to think about it. As you well know, money is a tricky little big subject. It touches every single part of your lives, be it your relationship, your career, your health, and beyond. Okay, this can put stress on you beyond just the literal money concern. But it also carries with it a societal taboo and a healthy dose of shame, which makes it even harder to deal with. Combine this fact, and stress is definitely inevitable. To make things worse, women are more worried about money than men are. Believe it or not, according to a study by Alliance, a financial institution, 67% of women worry about covering their current financial expenses compared to 57% of men. So that's 67 versus 57, a whole 10%. It doesn't make much, better when it comes to future planning. It definitely doesn't get any better because 81% of women stress about planning for their future financial needs compared to 70% of men. So why is that? Well, roughly 75% of Americans do not have any saving to fall back on, and many live paychecks to paychecks, okay? So more than half of our workers admit to feeling financially stressed, costing businesses an estimated $250 billion with a B a year in lost productivity and absenteeism, according to a Mercer study. Women make up 57% of the workforce in the United States, but they are paid a median salary that is about 81% of what their male counterpart are paid. So women have less household debt, believe it or not, than their male counterparts, but only 42% reported being comfortable with their debt level compared to 56% of men. Right? Women are less prepared for retirement saving, and an average of only maybe 165,000 compared to their male counterpart who have an average of $250,000 saved. However, both men and women expect to retire around the same age. So 81% of women stress about planning for their future financial needs compared to 70% of men. So what does all this stress lead to? It leads to unhealthy behaviors. We all have some unhealthy coping mechanism of behavior that we tend to gravitate towards when we are overwhelmed by stress, okay? For some people, it's okay, I'm going to go to the mall and lose a few $1,000. For some people, it's okay, I'm going to try and see how much alcohol I can drink. For some people, it's, I'm going to try and see how many pints of ice cream I could put down to that today, right? That stress also could lead to lack of self-care, because when you're stressed, right, you also tend to readily give up the thing that makes you feel better, okay? And it is difficult to continue to take care of yourself when you're having money trouble, okay? No more money for the spa, the thing that the feel-good stuff, right? Stress leads to insomnia as well. There's a reason the saying losing sleep exists. So when you're stressed out, you have more trouble sleeping. There's too much on your mind, okay, to slow down. So calm down and get some rest, because lack of sleep, makes you more stressed and can lead to what? Sickness, okay, illness. And illness is another stress byproduct, as I say. So stress can cause or exacerbate many different illnesses that you could have already, like anxiety, depression, digestive problem, what they call that, irritable bowel syndrome. I see the ad on TV all the time. Headaches, heart diseases, memory and concentration impairment, and the big one, weight gain or potentially weight loss as well. So not only does illness negatively affect your lives, but it can cause added financial problem in the form of what? Doctor's bill, missing work, and big prescription bills as well. It also could leads, I should say, to relationship trouble. Money problem and stress can lead to relationship problem, without a doubt. In fact, money is one of the top causes of relationship discord. Okay, that's the second cause for divorce after infidelity. To make matters worse, divorce is an expensive thing to go through. Been there. Lots of people end up going into debt because of their divorce. So needless to say that if not dealt with, this stress can become a vicious cycle. Okay, so you just go through the cycle and you, as they say, rinse and repeat. All right, so enough said for today. All right, so I'm going to wind down some and sum it up. Today I talk about mindset and optimism, confidence and self-belief, goals and focus, and I touch a little bit on mental illness or stress. Before I forget, let me share my contact information. You can reach me by sending me an email at mj@marijocaesar.com or by sending me a direct message via Messenger. I'm going to leave you with these last thoughts, okay? Promise, after that I'll get off the soapbox. The more you understand about your own finances, the more in control you will feel. Okay, that control will then lead to confidence. You don't have to become a completely different person in order to be more confident about your money, okay? You just have to start implementing small changes over time. So remember that excuse me here, my phone was, I feel like turn it off. Okay, where was I? Remember that financial confidence has to include a strong sense of your worth and value, so that you don't miss out on using your money to get what you really want out of life, and feeling like you are capable of managing and growing your own money. Furthermore, no one is born knowing how to make the kinds of financial decisions that will ensure a bright future, okay? We don't have a personal chip in our head when we are born. So commit to learning and adjust when necessary while staying focused on your goals. Once you start to succeed and move towards your goals, your confidence will improve even more. And of course, there will be failures along the way. There will be failures and setbacks, okay? And using them as learning experiences is critical. Right, so that's it for me. As you know, I like to end the show with a quote. And today I selected one from none other but Wilma Rudolph. I could tell my age, right? And it reads, "Never underestimate the power of dreams and the influence of the human spirit. We are all the same in this notion. The potential for greatness lives within each of us." Now, for those of you who do not know, Wilma Rudolph has a big legacy, okay? Her legacy lies in her efforts to overcome obstacles that included childhood illnesses and a physical disability to become the fastest woman runner in the world in 1960. Okay, and she did that at the 1960 Rome Olympics when she became the first American woman to win 3 gold medals in one Olympics. All right then, so for more information about how to achieve financial wellness and live a purposeful life with the money you have, join me next week, Thursday, at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time for my Bermuda Pips, and 10 a.m. Friday, okay, that's the equivalent of Friday, Brisbane, Australia time. Thank you for being here today on the Merging Life and Money Show. I am your host, Marie-Jo César. I will be back again next week. Okay, until then, continue merging life and money. Bye for now.